Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 468. I can't believe I have that many Facebook Lives. A lot of them have been deleted because Facebook changed their rules. So now a lot of them are on YouTube. So anyways, it is Sunday, March 1st, and we had to say goodbye to February and start a new month. So yay. March 2nd is the last day to sign up as a demonstrator and get the free positioner in your kit. And on the 3rd, we start new March online exclusives. So that is like super cool. And my name is Joy Borwedge. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. I have 4 cards for you tonight, and we made these cards at our event yesterday. And along with, 12 others, because they made 16 cards. At least most of them did. Some people made 8. I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, just look away. And also, I have a sneak peek, and that is going to be from our upcoming virtual event on March 28th. So that's super cool because it's a fun fold, but I'm only going to show you part of it. So you're not going to see the whole thing, but it's really cool. And I've never made one before until now. So, all right, let's put you down at the table and we'll get motion sickness, look away. I already said that, didn't I? All right, so let's go. So hopefully, hi, Dawn and Tina, you guys rock. Those are my fan club. Dawn is my downline, and then Tina is part of Dawn's downline. So it's really cool. I'm going to turn. Oh, it got a little tight there. Okay. So welcome you two ladies. I came home yesterday after unpacking my car, and I put everything away. But before I did that, I cleaned. I mean, I even got down on my hands and knees and vacuumed underneath, like, where things are. So, like, I super cleaned, guys. It's not that it was messy. It's just that when you take stuff away, it's easy to clean when there's no stuff there. So I did that. All right, so let's kind of get on with what's going on. Okay, first of all, this is our annual catalog. I'm going to squish out because it looks a little too close. So this is our annual catalog, and this catalog is actually going to go away. Stampin' Up! Is going to, come May, we're going to have a trimester of catalogs, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second. Right now, this is the spring mini catalog, okay? So these are 2 ways that are publications that you can purchase from. This is going away, both of these. So what Stampin' Up! Is going to do is consolidate them, okay? And make 3 catalogs 3 times a year. And that way, you don't get this new one and then totally and completely forget about this. And when the online exclusives come, then you forget about this. So now it's just going to be 1 publication and then the online exclusives. So then you can say it's either in the catalog or it's in the online exclusives. You don't have to sit there and look for it in 2 different catalogs and the online exclusives. It's going to be in one or the other. So that's going to be really cool. In the new catalog that's coming out, it will kind of revert back to having the dies on one page, having the ribbon all on one page, having the stamps on one page. So that's coming back. And That's all I know. I mean, I might know more, but forgot. But let's get on with stuff. All right, and as I said, we have the new March exclusives going live March 3rd. This book is a lot, well, it's not a book. I printed this off the computer. So it helps me know when I purchased something out of the collection. So up here are the suites that I own out of this collection, or bundles, okay? Then out of here, I own these. And this helps me find things. So if somebody says, you know, I really liked Facebook Live number 421. Can you tell me where that's out of and blah, blah, blah. So I try to organize myself like that. Now, this is the January online exclusives. This was introduced in January. And so anytime you have an online exclusive, it has a shelf life of, we don't know. So if you see it, you need to buy it, okay? The March online exclusives, I cannot show you what's inside, but it's action-packed. There's lots of stuff in there. That's a lot. I mean, it's like twice as thick, I think, is the one in January. But I have something to show you. Let's see here. What should I pick? All right, so I just have a little sneak peek. This is called Homemade Sweetness Suite, and this is part of the new March online exclusives. The Garden Poetry Suite. This is coming up too. And how about this? This is the Notes of Spring. This is the new product of the month. And this is going to be available March 3rd. So if you want this product of the month, get it before it's gone. Place your order in the online store. The subtotal has to be $75 after your rewards or any discount that's applied. And you can purchase the set for only $5. So that's coming up. And then the exclusive offer for this Stampin' Positioner. Okay, like I said, you have until March 2nd to get it for free. After that, it's not going to be available for a while. I don't know when the Positioner will be available, but as a demonstrator, we had a 2-week advance notice that they were doing this. We didn't know anything about it. And so they came up with this and said, hey, you guys got demonstrators. You guys got 2 weeks to decide you want it or not. Then it's just exclusive for new demonstrators that sign up. And then after that, it's going to be released in the future. I don't know if it's going to be a far future or a near future. Boy, I cannot speak, guys. I think that is it for show and tell. And okay. Alrighty, guys. First thing we're going to do is show you number 5. Number 5 happens to be the Beauty Suite collection. So this is a double whammy. It comes with 2 stamp sets, and then it is 2 dies, and then it comes with this beautiful pattern. Let's see here. How about I put this in here so you could see that? And this is a embossing folder. Words are hard sometimes. I'm like excited, but because I'm doing 4 cards in one, it makes me kind of nervous. I don't know why. And then there are the Pearls of Beauty that coordinate with this. And then we have the designer series paper. And that is, let's see here, where is my little cheat sheet? It is right here. This is called Brushed with Beauty. Now this is, as you can tell, it is a November 2025 online exclusive. Now, I have to say that Brushed with Beauty happens to be one of my favorite sweets. And at the event, I got a lot of compliments off this particular table as everybody was making them. Now, I have to say that it was so much fun at the event. I got to meet a bunch of new people. I got to see some people that I haven't seen for a while. And so it was just great to be able to sit there and watch them put together and help them. You know, if I had, you know, I'm usually the harder one. So it was really great to have them put this together. And so if you don't have this sweet, I say get it. And then you can get that, what do you say? The product of the month. Okay, so now, Judy, hi, welcome. Here is the items that we're playing with for this suite, or for this particular card. I gave everybody die cuts to stamp on, the designer series paper that coordinates with this suite. Now, some people decided to use the other side, and that's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I design that way. I am a visual learner, and I might see a design in, you know, online and keep that idea and then change it and make it my own. I do that quite a bit. Now, in this particular card, I actually had a template available for them to use to stamp on. And did I save that template, or did I? Oh, I did. I saved it. Ha! So what I did is I provided them a template. So I took my dies and I cut out on a darker piece of paper. And so what this allows me to do is when I'm mass producing, and if I did not have, say, like, this is my, hi, Barb. Welcome. Okay, I need to change this because I cannot design on that. But anyways, this template helped. I only have one Stamparatus and one Stampin' Positioner, and so I had 4 tables. So 2 tables, I had to make templates. And so the template I used to help place the cards in, and that helped them see the image through the photopolymer and helped them stamp. I need to change that in just a second here. So what I do is I just use, you know, a piece of copy paper that has something on it. Now, this was the January product of the month. I actually think I heard somebody say it was sold out. So then I am actually just going to use it. Oh, and I grabbed one that's not even used. Okay, now I'll make myself really nervous because I'm getting a little flustered that I forgot to change this. And in cleaning my room, okay, I am not a messy crafter. My bedroom is, if you were to come in it, it's not messy. And so I have cats. And so therefore, I like to decat my bedroom, defuzz it. And because one, she sheds like you wouldn't believe, and the other one's a long-haired. So, I mean, yeah. And he doesn't shed much, but you would think. So anyways, I'm going to take this and fill in the puzzle. And this allows me to see the stamped image, or to stamp it a lot easier. Now, if I had, my positioner and it wasn't used for something else, then I would do that. But, okay, so I told everybody when I was at their table watching them, this is going to be Calypso Coral. And I like to use the outline image first. Just tap, tap, tap. And this is also a distinctive stamp. And so what distinctive means is that it's a Stampin' Up! Patent design. And it allows you to have color variations within the stamp. And that's made by design. Okay, so that is one. We're going to actually use that, so I'm not going to clean it off. Now this one, we're using the same color, but we need to tap, tap, not squish, because this has more distinctiveness. We're going to stamp off, okay? And then we're going to use the lighter color. So it allows you to use one stamp and get two different colors. I agree, Barb. I sure hope this stays a long time. Okay, so we're actually going to do this on the inside of the panel, so we'll just push that aside. Seeing as how we're using the big one, we're going to go back in and do the same thing. We're just going to tap, 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 and we're just going to do the corner. And again, tap, tap, tap. Stamp off, and I line this one right here and the center, and that helps me with placing. There's a little shadow there, but it's not going to say, oh wow, that sucks, I can't use it. Nobody's going to say, oh wow, you don't love me anymore. I mean, it's great. Okay, so we're going to close that up. And we're going to go with our next one. So I'm going to put this over to the side, go back to the template, and put this one in here. And then we'll do the greeting as well. So if you don't own the Stamparatus from previous, or any type of... Wait, why am I doing the green? Oh, somebody dug a hole. Huh. All right, so now we're going to do the Pretty in Pink. And I am just taking the colors from the Designer Series paper. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the bold image first. And I know I re-inked this, so I'm just going to tap, tap, tap all the way around to make sure that the ink is all the way around. And just push down. And there we go, that we have a nice image. Oops. And I moved that underneath my template. Just take that out until, keep putting it down. Okay, so then now we're going to do the same thing with the other background. Tap, 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 stamp off. And then stamp down and get that light Pretty in Pink. Or Petal Pink, sorry. Petal Pink, not Pretty in Pink. All right, so we're going to close that up for now. All right, and then we're going to do our greeting. Now, the greeting, the reason why I wanted to do this, because the greeting actually, but it takes a lot of the space. So I wanted the people to be able to stamp it. Oops. And get it inside. So that's the reason why we have it there. And again, this helps me see where my words are. So if you're doing, say, like mass birthday cards, and then you're doing, or mass Christmas cards, this is a great way to get a lot of cards done and be able to see. When you have a light colored background, use a dark color as your template, and then it helps you see that better. Okay, so I am going to take that and put that right there, and then now we're going to stamp the rest of the inside, and we're going to grab the Early Espresso, and we're going to grab the inside. Okay, I should make sure that I'm in camera. Sorry. All right, so tap, tap, tap. And this is going to say, you've been on my mind. So I wanted to do something that would allow everybody to, you know what, I'm just going to make sure, yep. To make sure that everybody would be able to use this. Hi, Stacy, welcome. I got to meet Stacy in person for the first time. It was funny. She said that we've talked, but we've never met because she has been online, and we had never met in person before. So this was actually kind of fun. So I got to meet somebody who watches my Facebook Lives before. How you doing, Stacy? Welcome. All right, and so this is going to be the leaf. And we're just stamping that right on top there like that. And so we're actually done with the inside. No, we're not, because we got to do the flowers, the centers. So like I said, I took all the colors from the Designer Series paper. And that way I know everything coordinates. Now this is Early Espresso. And that's going to go on the center of my flower on all 3 blooms. Okay. All right, so that is awesome. And now in this particular suite, I showed you the, where'd they go? I showed you the Pearls of Beauty. However, I did not have enough to pack. I made 50 kits of each design. So I did, not 50, 60. 60. Did I say 50? I did 60 card kits of each. And so I have extras, but that's, you know, that's okay. This is the inside of our card. That's going to go here. So we're going to put that in. But anyways, I didn't have enough embellishments to do 60 with the Pearls of Beauty. So I took rhinestones and I used the dark Lost Lagoon, and I used my nib tip. That's the bullet tip to color my rhinestones that they coordinate. That's actually my biggest and most used way. Gosh darn it. I should be using my silicone mat. Duh. Silicone mat. Get it out. You own it. So anyways, that is my biggest way to use embellishments because it always coordinates. And this is Early Espresso. And this is actually one of my favorite ways to make a card, is that this is a half a sheet of Pretty in Pink, but then I cut off a ½ inch all the way around so that I can attach it to my card base. And the reason why I do that is because you see that pretty Early Espresso when you look at the front of the card. I also want you to see the Early Espresso when you see the inside of the card. So that's, you know, that's my explanation for that. All right, so let's build our card. So we're going to glue all the backs. We're going to use that one. We're going to use that one. And we're going to use that one. And so we're going to use my Stampin' Seal. And if you don't have a silicone mat, I highly suggest it. And the reason why I say that is because I love my glass mat, but I get glue boogers on there all the time because I over embellish, or I over stamp, adhere. So I need to make sure that I am going to not make my surface sticky, because when I put this down, I want to be able to lift it up. Now I'm going to draw 4 winners from this video at some point in time, and I am going to pick 4 different names. So you have to do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets you into the drawing. If you leave a comment, that gives you an entrance to the drawing. And if you share this on your timeline, that actually gets you 2 entries. And I'm a little crooked because this is going to bother my analness. Some of you who know me too well. All right, so I'm going to flip this around, and I am just going to go underneath. Whoops, did not get underneath. There we go. This is what I call the platypus. I call the other side the people poker, and I just love it when Heidi at the event was calling it the people poker. I have rubbed off on her. That's so funny. It just makes me laugh. When another demonstrator calls it a people poker. Yep. All right. And now this is the platypus bill. Because, I mean, doesn't it look like a platypus? You got people poker on one side and the platypus on the other side. So there we go. All right. Let's just change that so it's not a little crooked. I might be crooked. This I don't want to be crooked. All right, let's put that back to the pointy part. And there we go. We are good. All right, I'm going to take a drink for a second. All right, so we're going to take, I have static electricity here in Minnesota. All right, so the first one, we're going to take our adhesive, and I just added a little bit of Stampin' Seal right there across the paper. And I'm going to do the same thing this way, because I am not going to, I want a little motion. And so I rarely ever tack anything down all the way. And that is on purpose, not because I'm cheap with adhesive, but I like motion. All right, so we're going to take the big flower, and we're actually going to put adhesive on this one, and we're going to go flat, straight on adhesive. Then this one, this little guy, we're going to put a dimensional on it. I was looking for my people poker and I put it back. I have a hard time when there's so much stuff on my desk that I can't see it. So that's why I like to put my stuff back when I get done using it. And sometimes it's like, you doorknob, you just need that again. All right, so we're going to put that right on there like that. And then we're going to grab the mini dimensionals. I like the fact that Stampin' Up! Has 2 sizes, and I know that they have black ones, but I've never gotten them because they're also with white, and so if they were separate, then I would buy them, but I do buy, you know, I do use my dimensionals and my Wink of Stella on everything. I'm not kidding. I do. All right, so I'm going to put this right there, and I want it to go almost towards the edge, and that's why it's lying flat on that flower. Okay, so we're going to put these back so I can find them later. And then we're going to grab the putty part. I just recently picked off the last bit and got a new start. All right, so we're going to put this in the bottom. We're using 3 of the small ones, so we don't have to worry about, oh, this, you know, for me, as an ex-demonstrator or an ex-florist, we learned that your biggest flower does not hang up at the top of the arrangement. Your biggest flower hangs down low at the arrangement. So that goes for me, the embellishments as well. So if you have a big embellishment that hangs down lower, then your smaller arrangements or your smaller flowers go to the top. And that's just the way we learned it. And that has always stuck in my head. So also, creating a triangle is visually pleasing, as well as odd numbers. So it really, I know it's just me, but it really bugs me when people put their large ones up here and their small ones down here. It's not, it's just my ex-floral training, and it bugs me. I'm sorry. It just comes out. Okay, Winkostella. We're going to go, and this is, if you have never heard of Winkostella, this is glittery goodness in a pen. And it just takes a few seconds to make something so sparkly. Now, we're going to grab that Stampin' Pearson mat, and we're going to brush off. There's a tiny bit of early espresso right there. Thank you, Barb, very much. And we're going to highlight the calypso coral parts. And you don't have to get all of them, just kind of the majority. All right, I'm going to swirl that off because now we're going to go, and I'm actually going to do the light pink, the non-highlighted area. All right, so you forgot that part, Stacy. Now, do you own a Winkostella? You could certainly go back and do that. All right, and I think out of everybody watching, there's 5 people here. 3 of them did the event yesterday. So, so that is card number 1. Okay, so let's just take a few seconds here. And why are these in here? I tried to clean up my table and put things back in their bin as they were, so that when I did my Facebook Live today, then I could put them back. But these somehow made it in the wrong bin, so I guess I'll have to wait to figure out where they go. All right, so this is card number 1, or technically it's card number 5. I'm going to label that. Let's see. No, we're going to label card number 1, just because if you win my Facebook Live winners, I want to be able to say you won card number 1, because if I say you won card number 3 or 5, you're going to wonder what happened to 1 through 4. So we'll label this card number 1. So then that way I know which one. That's sticky. That is sticky. Number 1. And then, so these were my table pieces. I had 3 table samples. So I just want to make sure that I give out the right one. Hi, Sherry, another attendee of the event. So we're going to take out the Simply Chamois and just clean off quickly all the stamps we just used. And Sherry was at the event yesterday. Here we go, Sherry. This is card number 1 that we did today, so you didn't really miss much. She was here she was at the event yesterday, so it was great seeing her as well. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I agree. What I think we should do as demonstrators of, we should make, extras and then give them to our, there were 4 demonstrators yesterday, 3 plus me. And so, yeah, there was a lot of cute cards. Okay. So that was that table. So let's move this out of the way and let's get this bin ready. Okay. So now we are into the Lovely Blossoms. And the Lovely Blossoms is an online exclusive from January. And so this is also another popular card bundle suite that has been in and out of not available. So if there's something that's not available, the suite will not be active. So you will have to go back in and punch in everything that is available in the computer. So again, this is online exclusive January from 2026. And so here is the striped. This is a wonderful embossing folder. And I love that there's dots and stripes in here. And you can do the embossed image or the debossed image to get 2 different looks. Then part of this sweet collection is the Moody palette dots. And I didn't want to use the white ones, so I gave one of each color so that everybody could get a chance to see what they look like. And then, let's see, we had this beautiful ribbon, and I mean, it's so easy to play with, and you can make a pretty bow with it, even with it being almost 3/4 of an inch. So let's see if it says a size on here. Lint texture. It's a 5/8 ribbon, 5/8 inches. So very pretty. Okay, and one last thing is this designer series paper. Now, I love this designer series paper. And there are so many things that you can do with this paper. And 2 of these actually have larger flower blooms, okay? These are they kind of hang out in the background. And then we have background. Now, there's also 4 sheets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you get 3 sheets of each. So it allows you to do multiples a lot easier. Crumb Cake, Cloud Cover, Old Olive, Pebble Pink, and Secret Sea. This color combination is beautiful. So check this out in the online store, and you will not be disappointed. Also, Stampin' Up! Has a card class that is available for that. It's in the online store. You could still purchase it. It's available. And they would send you to the Facebook page, and that would allow you to, they would give you the dimensions and everything to get cut, and then you can watch that video and learn the tips and tricks that the Stampin' Up! People. Oh, I clean these and I put them directly on my ink pads. Like, what was I thinking? And so we're using Old Olive, Secret Sea, and Cloud Cover. Now, Cloud Cover is not, this ink pad was only sold to demonstrators, but it's not sold to the company, to customers, because when you have a foam ink pad, the what do they say? The chemical reaction of the reinker did not play well with this particular type of foam. So they sold the reinker, and you can make a spot. So the reinker goes really well with the spot. Now, just to let you know, that Stampin' Up! Is going to revamp their ink pads. And I do not know what Close to My Heart was. I never played with their product. They went down, and Stampin' Up! Bought into them a lot. They bought their patents, and they helped them out and took on a lot of the Close to My Heart demonstrators, and now they're Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. And so they are going to change the ink pads to the Close to My Heart magnetic ink pads. And so what that means is you will be able to take the top off without having any issues of pushing this up and sliding this in and taking this out and flipping it over. All I know, you're going to be able to lift it up, flip it over, and it's going to be magnetic, so it stays. Also, it's stackable. So when you order the new ink colors that are being introduced in May, those are going to be in the new ink pads. So that is what you'll be seeing. Now, we're going to be playing with the the template. Did I throw my template away? I think I did. I could have sworn I kept a template for this one. Grr. Unless I put it in the wrong bin. All right. Well, I guess we'll just see if I stamp on. We're going to grab a dark piece of cardstock. How about black? Okay. We're going to do black because if I stamp ink on it, we're not going to see it. So it's going to be fine. So anyways, I had a template for everybody to do this on. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to do the one at a time. And we're going to stamp this in, where did my card go? There it is. My design. I'm like going, yes, I designed this late. Let's see, it's like the end of January. And so I had to order cardstock and everything. All right, so we're going to stamp this one in Petal Pink. Now, I had Petal Pink ink pads at another table, so I used Petal Pink in 3 of my cards. And I find that very weird because it's not that I don't like Petal Pink. It's just that if I like pink, I like, what do they say? I'm a bright colored pink person. There is the Petal Pink, and then that is going to go on, seeing as how we have this one inked up, might as well do the inside. Now, I used the big one, but I want to use the little one just to show that everybody used the big one. So I want to show something just a tad bit different, so that just on this one. So then that way you don't, I mean, you could see a different way to do it. All right, so this one is going to be Old Olive. And we're going to ink that up. Tap, tap, tap. Now this is, I'm going to line up this tip and the stem. So that's going to help me. And I just smeared it. Apparently there's ink on my fingers. Gosh darn it. All right. See if I like it. And if I don't like it, then I just have another one. And we'll stamp that. Well, that's actually okay with me because you know what? In God's great nature, it's not necessarily perfect, but it is perfect because it's like that. And then, seeing as how we have this in our hands, we are going to do this as well. I like to decorate the inside of my cards, and I have been doing a lot of I'll show you what I mean, different sizes on the inside of my card so that it, as a paper crafter, it kind of saves me money, but it still gives a different idea and a different look. Okay, I'm washing my fingers because this is really irritating. And I'm going to clean off my, oh my goodness, look at that. I wonder how that got so dirty like that. All right. Oh, I know, because my ink pad. Oh, yeah. One of the things that's going to happen is I will not have somebody come up to me and say, hey, I dismantled your ink pad. Here, put this back together. So Stampin' Up! Is going to fix that for me. Because I can't tell you how many events, which is all of them, that somebody says, hey, this ink pad lid came off. And I have a really hard time to put them back together. So, there. No more green inky fingers. And luckily that's going to be covered up. All right. However, my fingers now smell baby fresh. Okay. This. Okay. This is going to, this here is a card, when you cut a full sheet, this is a full sheet times 2, okay? So there's one of these and another one of these. This is 2 3/4. So there's one there. There is 2 there. So technically you get 8 of these centers. You can put that on the inside of your card, decorate it, and still have space to write. Now, if you want to write a book, this is not the way to do it. I don't write books. You're lucky to see a card from me. You know what? If I didn't have Facebook winners, people would not be getting cards very well from me. I'm the worst card sender. I love making them. I am just not the best at sending them. So I am really sorry about that to everybody. All right, so we're going to do Sending Smiles in Secret C, tap, tap, tap. And that is going to go right on that flower. And there we go. Now we have, I'm actually going to redo that because there's 2 little splotches of color on there and it's bugging me. So I'm going to change that. There we go. And then we're going to do that little bloom on the inside again. And I'll show you another card with the other bloom on it. So then you could see the difference. I mean, it's not much difference, but it's still a different way to do it. And I just slightly off kilter. There we go. And we're going to attach that. I'm going to grab that silicone mat because I tend to overstamp. This is the good side. This is the bad side. And where's my adhesive? There we go. And so, Rose Coleman, she is another demonstrator. She's from Canada. That is where I got the idea of doing this. And I don't do it all the time. I do it a lot. I don't do it all the time because I still, you know, I just want to show people that there is a way to do it that is different. Okay, so now we're going to do this tiny, tiny Pray For Me. And that's in Secret C. And I'm going to open that up. And just tap, tap, tap. And we're going to move that over so that I don't... Hopefully I get this. It's hard to do when you're watching it through a TV or with a camera. It's actually pretty straight. Oh. Well, that's a good idea, Sherry. I didn't know that sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes, you know, it's a light color, and then sometimes, you know, because for me, I would prefer to have that white on the old olive background. But if it was, say, basic beige, then I would not provide that. Unless I wanted to stamp, you know, kind of like something different. Okay, so now that I don't need this basic black piece, I'm going to just toss that over in my bin. Nope, not onto the carpet. All right. I just needed to take a drink. All right, one more thing that we have to stamp. And we're going to do... Let's see. So this was a big piece like this. So this piece measured. One thing I don't do on my Facebook Lives when I do my virtual events or my in-person stamp camps, I don't give dimensions, because if you don't want to make them and come, I'm not giving you free reign. So this actually was a 3x5 piece, and I'm going to show you how to accomplish this, because I had several people ask, and so trying to explain them without a cutter was kind of hard. So what I did is I took this 3x... Carolyn, hi, sweetie. Another friend that was at the event yesterday. So what you do is, this was 3x5. I took this tip and I lined it at the 1-inch mark. And then I took this tip and I lined it, pretending it's not cut. Okay. And then I lined it at the 1-inch mark over here. Let's see. Yep. So top and bottom, and then so that it was equal amount. Now, you don't have to be like that. You could do 1 inch on one side and then go to 3 inches on the other side and then slice down. That is how I made it like this, okay? And we'll actually do that maybe down the line in a different card, and I'll show you, but... Like I said, I don't give out my event measurements. Okay, so we're going to stamp on the bottom one. So we got to make sure it faces the right way. And we're actually using the cloud cover. Now, I allowed everybody to use the ink pad just because we had about 50 people register for this event. So I kind of wanted to make sure that using this large flower would be a lot easier if they got to do it on the big ink pad rather than using the little one many times. All right, so that is how easy that went. And now what I did is I put dimensionals on the top and the bottom. And so this is the bottom and this is the top, okay? So I'm going to flip these over and I'm going to put dimensionals, but not near this, okay? Because we're just going to slide the paper through. Okay, so that's going to be the bottom, okay? Whoops, get back over here. I'll leave enough space, and there we go. All right, so we're going to take these off. Whoops, fling them across the way. No. No. All right, stab and grab those backings. Collect them and toss them. Okay, we're going to put these on the front of the card now. And I'm going to do my bottom one first. And I'm just going to do equidistant all the way around. And then this one, equidistant all the way around. Try to line it up. And then these flowers are, there's a top and a bottom to this. So make sure if you were to come back in and recreate this card, that you don't put them sideways or backwards. Upside down. Gosh darn it. All right, slide that right through. Snip off the edge, and there you have perfect placement. And so we're just going to slide, snip them off. Okay. And there we have our beautiful front. Now, everybody received 1/2 of this die. So I just put one die in and just put it through my paper trimmer and snipped it off in half. So now I'm going to take adhesive right there and just put some top and bottom, squish so it's facing the inside. There we go. Just like that. And let's see here. I think, what did I do? I shall be back in a second. I just want to make sure that I didn't pop that up, and I did not. So this is, again, a flat. And I got to put my leaf on. Put my leaf on first. And put put adhesive on there and just have that hang off the edge. Have this go slightly at an angle, and our words, those are going to get popped up on dimensionals, the little ones. Did I not lift? Okay, I lifted it off, but I didn't lift it off totally and completely. And if you were to put this where you were supposed to, you would not see that straight-edged, cut-off, jagged look off that blue circle background piece. I have no idea what to call that. The multiple circle die, I guess, maybe? The funky scalloped die? I don't know. All right, you two, come with me. All right. And that goes perfectly right there. Then we are going to pop that off and place. Now, the designer in me, X-Floral Designer, is going to take the dark one, and it's large, okay, and place that at the bottom. And then this one is large as well. And the little one, that one's going to go up here in the divot. Now, I know that a lot of people have a really hard time thinking of where to put their dimensionals. Their embellishments. And what I like to do is, number one, I like to put my weight at the bottom, okay, one at the side of the other. I like to highlight the greeting and then find, like, this is a divot, okay? I like to find a divot, a square, so this is Facebook Live number 467. So I put it down in the corner. This little divot from the punch goes there, and then at the tippy top part of the sailboat. Then let's go find another one. Okay, so down here in the corner, right next to the word, and this flower grouping created a V, so I put it in there. So large, medium, small. That was Facebook Live number 464. This is another one that has the gold, and then a large one, and a large one, and then in this divot created by that die, I put it in that corner. So this is 463, number one of the cards. And then this one, again, down in the corner, near the words, and then this tulip created that little divot right in there. So that is in there. And then this one, down in the corner, this created a little, kind of like a little corner. So down in there, and then up near that flower divot. So I'm just kind of showing you how to get a little bit more friendly with your embellishments. Now this one, the ladybug is at the bottom, and the two dewdrops are in there. And the last one, again, down in the corner, down by the greeting, and then this one here, thank you, Tina. It's just trying to help you guys see, you know, how to make it easy. You know what I mean? If you say it's hard, it's going to be hard. But if you get beyond that and just try a little placement, it gets a little easier, actually. Okay, so now we're done with that. Let's get the Wink of Stella. And that is going to do the center, and then the highlighted marks on the petals. And there we go with that little shiny sparkless. You love the worm? Yeah, me too. And that is in the inside. Now, let's show you what the other inside looks like that everybody else got to make. They used the secret C, the secret C for the sending smiles and the cloud cover on the big flower. So you can certainly do both greetings with different flowers. So this is card number 2 for the evening. And we'll mark that down. Cloud, or card number 2. And then we'll put that off to the side. And then we'll clean up. And where did I put my bin? There we go. Okay. See, like I said, when I told you guys, in the beginning, I came home and I cleaned. So before I put anything away, I cleaned because there's space there. And the only thing I couldn't clean was this stuff. And so now I get to clear out all my bins and start over. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say in the beginning of this, there is a virtual event that is going to be happening March 28th. And you can be in any of the 48 states. And you can certainly buy a kit from us. And we would be happy to share that with you. Now, what happens is Heidi designs 4 cards. And then I design 4 cards. So here, let's put that down there so it's easier to see. And then we send you all the product cut. We cannot send any stamped images per Stampin' Up. But what we do is we use products that are kind of like from this event. So the cards that you see tonight, the sweets. So I'm going to be featuring the Brushed with Beauty suite. Not this card, obviously, because it's stamped. Then we're going to be using the Lovely Blossoms suite. And again, no stamped images. So we do things with dies and the designer's paper. And we create cards, and then we have Heidi and I record videos so that if there's a boo-boo, we can stop, we can do it quicker if we get, interrupted or something. But we make the videos, and then we play them via Zoom. And then that way you will be able to say, hey, can you slow it down? Or can I see that again? Or, things like that. So anyways, yeah, now I get ready for the virtual event. Actually, my cards are all designed. And I stayed up. On Friday, I got off of work and then came home and got everything ready to, we had to set the church up on Friday night, or Friday at 1 o'clock. So, I got there And I had everything ready to go for the event, but then Heidi was like, hey, are you going to be able to bring your virtual stuff there so we can offer it to our group at the event on Saturday? And I'm like, okay. And even though I had them all designed, I did not have anything chopped up. So I had to cut 20 kits. That's what I did. 20 kits for each card. And I did 4. So I went to bed at 4:15 on Saturday morning and had a 2.5 hour nap, and then went to the church on Saturday. Yeah, I was a little sleepy. Okay, and then I came home after the event and put everything away. I cleaned, like I said, I cleaned underneath everything. Vacuumed it, dusted it, moved things. I went inside. You know, this is my tool holder. And I keep my scissors, my bone folder, my take your pick tool. I mean, I like even vacuumed inside everything. You know what I mean? So I deep cleaned and then I crashed. Okay, so we're going to take the, we're going to do the bug. Cute as a bug. Sweet. All right, where's the rest of it? There it is. Okay, so this is the Cute as a Bug, Sweet Bug dies. And as you can see, there is a green highlight around each one of these magnets, or these dies, I mean, on my magnet sheet. And that is the Papermate Ink Joy gel pens. And so they are in different colors, and it helps you outline your dies so that you can put them. What do you mean that is why? Was I a little out of it on Saturday? What do you mean that is why? That was like, you know, 4 yeah, it was a lot of energy drinks, but I did drink water too. Okay, so we're doing the bug dies, and then the Cute as the Bug designer series paper, and the ladybugs, and the dewdrops. That is all in the suite, and this is in the spring mini catalog. And these guys are so flipping cute. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. Yes, I was very sleepy. But I tried to hide it. But what was really going on was my ankles were kind of hurting. So I had to sit down for a little bit because they get swelled up when I don't sleep and eat properly. All right, so this is 2 3/8 punch. It is in the online exclusives. I find it easier for me to punch and then stamp my designs on there, so then that way I don't accidentally go outside of my image and then have to, you know, color them in and then cut something off. I don't want to do that. All right, this is vellum, and I used the Forever Plaid. It's on page 109 in the annual catalog. And then again, this is the designer series paper. And I wanted to kind of mimic that. And we're going to stamp on this. So let's get out our stuff. I used this, and let's just kind of move things around. Okay, so the little bug guy, okay, we had to have somebody come and say, hey, Joy, can you, put this where it's supposed to go? there is a line right here. Now, you may not be able to see, you will not see the, you'll see the point if you see it, but not on, you guys probably can't see it from the corner. But it hits this little knobby and this little knobby. Now, these little knobbies, and I'm sure that is not the technical term, but that's going to be mine. That holds the paper. And so you take this piece of paper and you point it in the right direction. And then if it comes off, you know that you could stick it back up in there again. Well, because I was doing an event, I wanted to make sure that my little things stuck. And one person, that's the reason why I am actually using my Stamparatus magnets, because somebody did undo my bug and it really irritated me that I had to find it out, find the center again. Okay, so what I did is I cut out a bug for everybody and used the ladybug right there. So just flip it over and tap, tap, tap with the Memento ink pad and make sure you got your holes lined up and then push down. Now, anybody who has like arthritis would be able to do this very easily. And like I said, you have only until March 2nd, that is tomorrow, to sign up to be a demonstrator to get this for free in your kit. Now, how perfect is that little ladybug? I mean, like, ta-da! All right, that's ready to go. Now we're going to put this away. Actually, I'm going to clean up my bug. And this is a good thing to have. Your Simply Chamois, and it's only a quarter of the sheet. So when I do stamp camps at my apartment, then I can actually, have one at every station. Okay, then let's get out the Stampin' Pearson mat so we can stamp the rest of our things. The greeting is, let's see, not this one, Spreading Joy. So again, we're using Memento, and I'm going to put it like this because there's a lot of stuff sitting here, and we're going to stamp this. Tap, tap, tap. And one thing that I kind of forgot to mention when I was talking about the end colors being in the new stamp case, it's also not going to be foam. It's going to be felt. Felt? Or is it linen? I can't remember. The opposite one of what they used to be. More like this. So you know what's going to happen? Nobody's going to squish, squish, squish anymore. So yay! I don't have to say that. That makes me happy. When people go squish, squish, squish and end up with all the ink that's around everything, and then the next person goes and stamps it and gets ink because somebody squish, 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 they wanted to kill the spider. Yeah. Oh, my friends are probably laughing at me. Okay, that is Spread Joy. And then, I was more quiet than normal, Carolyn. I was trying not to overdo the energy drinks because I didn't want to boing off the walls. Okay, so this guy is going to come up right there. And a little bit went off the circle, which is okay. And then we're going to do, let's see, we're going to stamp a little bit of there, a little bit of there, and a little bit over there. And let's see here. I have this really old ink pad. When I joined Stampin' Up! In 1999, this is the ink pad that they came out with. And this is Old Olive. And I have, when I first started stamping with Stampin' Up! In 1997, they did not have their color families yet. And when I joined in August of 1999, that year in 2000s, Stampin' Up! Had their convention in Minneapolis. And that was the reason why I joined. Because I wanted to go to convention. And it was in Minneapolis. And I think that it was, let's see, so unorganized. There was long lines. People did not like it. They were not happy. But that was okay. It was in Minneapolis, and I was having fun. And then they came out with the color families. And back in the day, trying to find red ink to match your red paper was not the funnest thing to do. And once they went exclusive color families, I mean, we had, yes, I do like the linen ink pads. I have no problem. I like the foam too, but I don't like other people using my foam because they want to kill the ink pad. Is what they want to do. They just want to go squish, squish, squish. And it's like, no, 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 don't do that. Tap, tap, tap. So I actually love the foam myself. But yeah. Okay. So I'm excited that Stampin' Up! Is going to have the magnetic cases. But in 2027 is when the whole family will get disrupted because Stampin' Up! Is going to have a color revamp. And I think that's going to be fun because we might see some things come back. And I'm not sure. Do not quote me on this, because I will deny it that I ever said it. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is, now my original card actually used Petal Pink ants. And like I said, I designed 3 of my 4 cards using Petal Pink. And that was not the smartest thing to do, because when I design my cards for the event, it is generally not at the same time. So, but I have to say that I had several people say that they didn't know Versamark did this, and that they were very happy that I reminded them to use their Versamark. So that is the front of the card, and we're going to do the inside of the card as well. Now, Versamark is not the only, doing embossing is really not the only way to use it. This is just a way to get a watermark on your card. Now, I don't know if you guys can see those ants. You can. I could see them. If I, maybe, there we go. If I don't face it so well into the, it's not as prominent and it doesn't clash. Your Versamark ink pad can get dirty, and that's okay. It doesn't affect it. But just make sure that when you are going to use embossing powder with it, that it is juicier. Now, I've had people ask me how to re-ink their ink pad. So I'm just going to give you a quick example. This stuff comes out very thick. So I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit on here. And then, so it just basically sits on the top of your, now those little tiny dots, they did, you know, go in. I just take my snout of my refill bottle and just point that in. I would rather not use a spoon to do that because this is the re-inker. The spoon is not going to reuse, you know, I could just wipe off any of the extra bits. You know what I'm saying? I could probably still put more in there, but that is how I re-ink my Versamark. Just a quick show. All right. And then I store it upside down. Okay. So, and then this was used at the event. Now, I used my Simply Chamois for cleaning my stamps. This is what I call the best washer and dryer ever. It's called the Stampin' Scrub. And this is in the annual catalog. I think it's in the annual catalog. And one side is going to have raindrops. That's the wet side. And the other side is going to have the sun, which means dry. So you take the Stampin' Mist. And I'm just going to, mine's low. I have a refill. And I'm going to saturate it pretty good right in the center there. And I'm going to push this down so it gets to the block. And I'm going to swirl it around. And I'm going to get that all wet and good and washy-washy. Look at my ants are all sudsed up. They are going through the washer, and I'm actually going to let that sit there. Because that ink is so sticky, I want it to be, you know, I want it to come off really well. And then I'll rinse that off on the dry side, and then I'll go back in with the Simply Chamois, and I'll clean that. And then that way, the majority of the Versamark, which is sticky, is on the rubber scrubber, and then I'll rinse that out under the hot water, and then I'll go just fine. Okay, so this card, we're done stamping, so now we can attach it. And I do that every single time I use Versamark on my stamps, whether it's photopolymer or the red rubber. And as you know, red rubber is no longer going to be sold by Stampin' Up. So you might see as we get closer to the end of the catalog that things might end up going on the discontinued list because the red rubber is not going to be, you know, they might get, you know, they might sell it or sell out of it. Okay, so I'm going to take my, I'm just going to add adhesive on the back side because you don't see it when it's embossed. I don't know why, but you don't. And there you go. And then we're going to take the, I had somebody ask me, so do we have to rip that ourselves? How does that get ripped? Do we have to rip that ourselves? Like, yep. I wanted, and then she said, there used to be a tool. And I said, yep, and that retired a long time ago. Okay, and so there is that. And now I'm going to attach that to the vellum. And I had it overlap the sides a little bit, so I wanted to have quite a bit on there. And then we're going to use a pool party, and we're going to use this and Stampin' Pearson mat. Oops. And we're going to start off of here, and we're just going to go a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, you're probably not going to see it on the camera. Is there any re-inker in there? Or is there any pool party ink in there? Well, then let's add some drops and we'll see. Oh yeah, it's sucking in. So let's just take our we'll just push that down in. It'll eventually, I bring my re-inkers just because we had, 50 registrants, and just kind of blend that all in, and then we're going to wipe some of that off. All right, there we go. There is some blue in there now. Makes me happy, makes me feel fine. Tiny bubbles. All right. So, I mean, like I said, there's not that much on there. But it's just so it's not stark white. And then we're going to use Old Olive. And we'll rub off on that a little bit. And we'll get some grass. And a flower or two. Maybe, maybe not. And we are good. All right, so we're done coloring with our ink pads. Now we get to color with blends. And let's see, I did not swatch this. I just took the colors that were in the Designer Series paper, because Stampin' Up! Said that these colors went well together. And so we're going to color that and the little bug. Actually, I want to get rid of this Stampin' or the silicone mat, and I'm going to sit down for a few seconds because Bert has not taken my chair, and we're going to color. And then I'll pop back up once I get done coloring. All right, I'm going to take a drink. Okay, so I have, I taped all my brushes so that the only thing that you could color with was the nib tip. And that was because, again, you have a bunch of people that like to kill spiders in their ink pad, and I don't want them to kill my brush tips. And for a lot of the part, I use the brush tips mostly anyways to color. All right, and this is, this is light cloud cover. And that was on my little petals. And then I actually did a little bit of the color lifter, just kind of fade away some of it on the inside. And this is light petal pink. And we're going to color the flower. And then this is Cajun Craze, and all I did was make a little circle in the flower just like that. And then, oh, and that is dark Cajun Craze. And then dark Old Olive is going to be the grass. And the grass brushings. I should have done the flower too on this one. We'll go back in with the petal pink. And just a dot. And then that will just kind of spread out. Okay. And then this is done. And then light Old Olive. And this is going to be light Old Olive for the book. And then the Cajun. For the spine. And then the ladybug is light smoky slate. And then Poppy Parade is light for the ladybug. I saw a video of the one that created this suite, and she said she was not allowed to put beetles or spiders, and so I thought that was kind of funny. Okay, we are done coloring, so I can stand up now. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to put it on dimensionals, and we're going to put that back in the bin and put my, I'm going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then stab and grab those backings. And then 1 dimensional on our bug. And I guess I could do 2. I'll do 2. 1 and 2. 2. Come on. All right, stab and grab that one. Throw that away. Do, do, do. And we're going to put this. First of all, I want to actually put my greeting on first. And there's a reason why. Oops. See, I always overglue. I'm going to put my greeting on and make sure you're creating your tails, do not step over, because when you open this up, it will hinge on this part. So you don't want it to rub off like that. Now we can put this on, and there's a glue booger on there somehow. And then we're going to cover that up without trying to cover up joy, you know. What fun is covering up joy? I don't know. And then here is the little bug. Now the bug, yeah, we colored that flower and its butt's hanging on it. But at least it's not a dung beetle. Ha ha ha. Okay, so we're going to put this one. Grab the silicone mat, Joy, so that you don't overshoot it. All right. What? Okay, good. And then this goes on the inside, and you don't want to cover up the ants at the bottom because they're having a parade. It's like, come on, let's go. All right, there we go. And a little Winka Stella in our flower. And there's a fuzz. And then we're going to do the flower in here. And then got to bring this back in because we got to clean off. Make sure that there's no color. Because once you hit something that is inky, you can re-wet it by the Winka Stella and bring that color over. And then we're going to do the black parts on the bug. All right. Like, how flippin' cute is that? Right? And then the inside, you know, I mean, spread joy, because I said so. And then we're going to add our ladybug. And we're going to put that up in the corner. And then we're going to do the dewdrops. One at there. And one. I'm going to stab you if you don't knock it off. Come on. Now where'd it go? Oh, it's on there. Talking to the dewdrop. There we go. Now we're done. Isn't that cute? All right. Card number 3. And you can be a winner of a bug. Now, hopefully you're paying attention. Are you guys paying attention? Because I said that there was going to be a sneak peek. Okay. Let's see. Where is that card? I think it's right here. Oh, is it in there? Yes, it's in here. All right. That was... Were you paying attention? Did you see that? That is a sneak peek of a fun fold card that I made. I've never done this card before, and it's a fun fold. Yeah. So you get to make this card if you sign up for the virtual event. So, do it. Okay, let's get on to the next card. Oh, never mind. We have to clean our bugs. Ugh. All right, so I am going to ask you what your favorite card is, and so hopefully you can pick one. And then after we're done, I'm going to put this all away so I can have a clean stamp room and organized and put back together again and not have little tiny trays all over the floor, because that gets annoying. I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I had a whole basement for my stamp room. So when I got done with an event, I, didn't, have to put things away because I went walk into it. All right, so that is that. We can put that away. And for the final card, we are doing that. Okay, so we have this suite, and so lovely and beautiful. Good. You saw it. You pay attention. Because the last time, or one time, I did a a flyby, and Carolyn said she was working and had her head down. And so I had to do it again. And, so. Okay, so lovely and beautiful specialty designer series paper. Features the foil on one side. And this suite is just absolutely a stunner. So if you don't have it, you need to get it. And it's for something that's not necessarily, it looks like it's all wedding stuff, but it's really not. So virtualstampinevent.com, check that out to register. The Simply Beautiful dies, as you can tell, that Flyby was working with a lot of the designs in here. The pearlized faceted gems, circles, I should say, is part of this suite. The ephemera pack, it's called Beautifully Adorned Ephemera. Have not yet done anything with this. And what did I just drop? Oh, a magnet. Where did that come from? Okay. Then this has 2 die sets. And each die set is great on its own. These dies right here are so fun to play with. And then these flowers here are a lot more fun. And then the stamps that go with this. A day to remember. Now, somebody said, what's a day to remember? And I said, birthday. Somebody who just turned 21. Somebody who just turned 65. How about somebody who's turning 100? Okay? A day to remember. Somebody who is retiring from, their job. Somebody who's actually getting another job and you're happy for them to leave. Because either A, you like the person and they were unhappy, or B, you don't really care for them and happy that their attitude is leaving. Another day to remember is maybe somebody just got their first job. Let's see. How about somebody graduated high school and is going into, I don't know, a new job? How about somebody who just got engaged? Now, you can do memory keeping with this as well. A day to remember. How about you don't... Barb, there is no such thing as too many flowers, but the die flowers are like phenomenal. And I'm going to show you, it's like somebody said, that's a big flower die. And I'm not going to color that. Well, I also want to show you that this is what I've done. I have taken, I learned this from Lisa Curcio, that this here is the thicker cardstock. Take a Sharpie, outline your stamps, so then that way you know where to put them when they're done. And then when I'm designing, I don't have to have this on the table. I don't have to have this open because this is attached to one side and this is attached to the other side. I can keep this in here and I can remove this little flimsy plastic part, stick it in the front flap so I'm not going to lose it. And this is how much space it takes up on my table when I'm designing. Not much. So there is a good way to handle that. And then this is from the Spring Mini. And let me show you just again that dies. Now, I only did it for this one because, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, but all these items get cut out by the dies. This one also makes a great background for this, okay? Then this one plus this one equals that. And then you can add another one of these to, do 3 of these. And then you can have that, designed up. Then you can have the different color stamens in the center. And then to the happy couple, that's definitely a wedding card, but also to the happy couple that just got their first house. Holding you in my heart. You know what? If somebody that you love has somebody that they love pass away, that's a great greeting. Thinking of you. And obviously, wedding wishes. Then also, don't forget, a day to remember. You can do that as a scrapbooking page with bridal shower, bachelorette party. Now, some of those pictures you might not want, to remember. You might want to hide them. But, this calls for a celebration. Obviously, everything I just said for this one goes for that one. A day to remember could be also, I don't know, anything that you can celebrate is a good day to remember. Okay. Let's get the card going. Okay, so the virtualstampinevent.com. And here's all our parts for that. Okay. We're going to use we're going to actually use the Stamparatus for this one, just because, again, I'm only allowed to have one, the Stampin' Positioner. And this is a big flower, so I didn't want to put it on the big block because I hate to say this, but a lot of people are of the older generation. So I didn't want to physically hand stamp using that F block for a lot of people. This is the background that we're going to color. This is the flower and the leaves that come in. And the Stamparatus. Okay, so then now with the Stamparatus, if you have one of these, put your case underneath, and that gives you a stable thing to pounce on your ink pad with. Because otherwise it's going boing, 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 boing. And we're going to ink these all up at the same time. All right, I think I got that all good and inky. Push down, doo, 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 doo. And there we go. We have a flower. Whoop, whoop. And we have a leaf. Okay. Oh, that got moved. Oh, well. No biggie. We'll put those over there. We're going to take that Simply Chamois, clean that off. It's not like anybody else is going to use this tonight, but I want to be able to put it away tonight and put it back in its case. And then let that dry. Okay. Then we're going to take this and Stampin' Pearson mat, and we have Calypso Coral and Peach Pie. Now, Peach Pie is going to go away, and that does not, that ink pad looks like it's had some colors added to it. Huh. Well, let's take some scrap paper and just dip that. See what that looks like. Okay, some dark color. Okay, some of that dark color is going away. And then we'll just re-ink it with some Peach Pie re-inker. And then hopefully it'll be a card that, you know, doesn't kind of look but ugly. All right. And then we'll get some good color in there. Doo, 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 doo. And then we'll just smear that around. We're just using the nose, and see how it's just sinking right in. That means you know that it's a thirsty ink pad. When I was first stamping in the beginning years, there was a bunch of us that would go to this cabin in Webb Lake, Wisconsin, and we would, you know, bring our stuff, and then we would stamp. And some of us would stay up late, but we would, you know, share things with people and learn, you know, different techniques, and, you know, just, we would, you know, have our own tables, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But I don't even remember why I was going to that, but whatever. This is Peach Pie, and we're just swirling it around. It's late. I did get a lot of sleep. I woke up in time to watch church. All right. But this is going to retire, guys. So you're going to want to, you know, if you like this color, just swirling all the way out, and it's not getting every petal. This is a great way to do some coloring without having to think you have to get in and color. I'm just making sure that these brushes were used by other people that did not have bad color on it, like my ink pad. Okay, I am going to take my clips of coral and add that. All right, there we go. I like that color. Oop. Very pretty. All right. Then we're going to take that. And now we're going to take the ink pad and just go like that. And we're going to put that right up in there. Okay. Then, let's see. We're going to stamp A Time to Remember. And what color did I stamp that in? I think I did Memento. There it is. And this is kind of a bigger stamp. So I want to take my ink pad and just tap it. And that's going to go right at the top. There we go. And then we'll close that up. Okay. I don't know where my sample is for this one, so I'm just going by, where did I, maybe, there it is. I have one. Okay. Then what I did is I attached, I forgot one more thing I got to stamp. The words, thinking of you. And then I put that on here. Okay. And there we go. And then we got one more thing stamped. And we have fresh freesia. Ooh, I forgot to color the leaves. Okay, we're going to do that. And this one goes, this is all from the same suite. And this is going to go tone on tone. right there. And just like that, and we'll close that one up. And then we gotta color our leaves in. Where's my other leaf? It's hiding. Did it get stuck to something? Oh, come on. It's not hiding. Do you guys see it sitting here? I got one. I know there's two. Right? Did I leave it? Ah! It was still on the Stamparatus. I was like going, I know I did it. Oh my goodness. All right. And then we have Garden Green. Now, Garden Green is actually not a color that's listed in the family of color on the back side. But I was using Old Olive in a lot of my stuff. And so I had to figure out another green to use. And like I said, I'm not doing all of it. It's just picking up a little bit of the color. And the idea is to leave some of it white. And that's what I was aiming for. I was not trying to be, you know, that perfect stamper that gets everything perfectly. It's the idea of that. And then we're going to take my bone folder. And I wanted to do this to show you. Just to kind of curl that so that it has a little bit of life to it. And obviously it will, you know, get smushed when it's in the envelope, but, you know, that's okay. All right. Okay, we'll get rid of Stampin' Pearson mat and get the craft mat back in. And we're going to start making our card. Okay, so we're going to actually take the peach pie and I'm just going to color that. You could have used fresh freesia if you wanted to. But seeing as how I did the flower in peach, I kind of wanted to bring that color also on the inside. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to use the dark blend in Darling Duckling. And we're going to get the stamens and kind of color that center a little bit. Now, it depends on how dark you went with the Calypso Coral. You may or may not see this very much, but I didn't want it to leave it naked. Okay. Now let's start doing stuff. Okay, we're going to put this on. And let's see, where are things? I think I'm going to keep this piece. I don't want to cut it off. So this is going to go completely over to the side. I gave everybody a little, it's actually a 1x6 piece. And obviously your card is not 6 inches, but I wanted to give everybody extra so that they can snip off the side that they don't want. Okay. And I left a little bit of fresh freesia under. And we're going to grab the snips and take that off. And then we're going to take the gold foil and a little bit of adhesive. And that is going to go right on the edge. Actually, let me open that up so I know where my end is of the cardstock, and push that down. And again, we'll snip that off. Guess I should have kept my scissors with me. But like I said, I always put my things back when I'm done. All right. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Then we're going to take this, and I am not going to put adhesive below those little pointy parts. So we'll just go like that, because it's going to hang over. So I'm going to line this part up with the foil and make it centered as much as I can. There we go. And then we're going to pop these up on dimensionals. And I'm not going to put them right at the edge, because I want to be able to add my leaves under. Okay. And so we're going to put this right smack dab in the center. And then we're going to put adhesive just on the base where the stem is at. And we're going to put a little bit right there. And then this is going to go like that. So it's not on dimensionals, but it has dimension. Okay, then this part is fussy cutting. And this part, I'm not that great at cutting out the words. However, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So practice. And turn your paper and leave your scissors in one spot. And because it's handmade, it doesn't have to be perfect. Because if you expect perfect from me, sorry, I'm disappointing you. All right. Now, I am going to trim better. Because, again, somebody is going to win this card, and I don't want somebody to think I make but ugly cards. Okay. Then, mini dimensionals. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up or a heart or both if you wanna, and then share this with your stamping friends. And if you don't have any stamping friends, well then maybe share it and make them stampers. All right, so we're going to stab and grab those backings, and I saw that out of the corner of my eye, so thank you. That makes me very happy. Oh, I have 7 people on here. Wow. Okay, and then with that fussy cutting, like I said, I am not the best at it, but it looks nice when it's on the card, right? And then we're going to add the gems. Now, the gems, they are the rhinestones. Oh, come hither. Ah. Like I said, I don't have fingernails, so the Take Your Pick tool is like the best thing ever. Okay, so again, we're going to take that large one, and I used with the dark Calypso coral. And we're going to put the large one there. And then the medium one, we are going to put that right in the center of that. And then we're going to grab the little guy, and we're going to put that where this leaf and it starts the flower, there's a little cubby right there. So that is where my eye wants to put this, is in that little cubby. So again, large, medium, small. It creates a triangle, and it's pleasing to the eye, and the large one down at the bottom gives it visually weight. Really? Well, Stampin' Up! Did it. Stampin' Up! pitched. Stampin' Up! Made peach pie and fresh freesia in the same designer series paper, like right there, and Calypso coral and peach pie. Like, how cool. And like I said, garden green is not in there, but it looks pretty good with that green, doesn't it? I mean, old olive, yes, probably would have been better, but now let's put the inside in. I don't want you guys thinking I forgot that, because I did not. All right. And then I'm going to add that right to the tippy top of that designer series paper. And so when that closes, you see the paper, and when you open it up, you still see the paper. Isn't that pretty? Now, Wink Stella. Got to do that. All right, so let's use my little notification beeped at me. All right, so I think because it's a Facebook Live, we're going to clean that off, and we're going to do the leaves, the veins on the leaves, because somebody's going to win this card tonight. Well, not tonight, but I'm going to pick a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And then somebody's going to win this card. Navon, she was at the event yesterday. She calls me Miss Winky. She's so cute. All right. And the inside, you know, we could, if I don't get too shaky. I still get nervous when I do Facebook Lives. I mean, this is 468. Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad they deleted, 1 through 100. I was probably really bad. All right, just clean that off. All right, so that is card number 4. All right. Thank you very much, Barb. Okay, so number 4. Let's put that on. And we'll clean up. And then we just might show you that sneak peek again. You know, because you stuck with me this long, you might get to see it twice. We'll clean up and put all 4 cards out. And then have you tell me which one you liked the best. Oops. There's number 3. And number 2. And number, oh shoot. I just ripped off the leaf, but you know what? Nobody's going to even know. Except for you guys, because you guys watch the video. So we'll just plant that little puppy back on. Stick it under. And that didn't happen, did it? Unless one of you, well, one of you guys has to actually win, because, you know, there's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Which one's your favorite, guys? And while you are doing that, while you're looking and voting, I'm going to clean up wash my stamps. Squeak, 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 squeak. Number 3. Oh, you like the bug, okay. Number 1. Number 2. Well, hello, Kimberly Harper. Is this your first time here? She likes number 2. Judy likes number 3. Okay. Put my adhesive back where it goes. Well, welcome, Kim. Where are you from? I live in Burnsville, Minnesota. And a lot of these guys just were at my event, or I shouldn't say it's my event, it's our event. But they got to make these cards. And so I come back in after the event and I replay it and then, redo the cards for everybody that didn't make it. And then they get a chance to win one of these cards. And so if you, well, I'll move this out. If you want to get into the drawing to win, okay, Carolyn is number 1, okay. If you do a thumbs up or a heart, that gets you entered into the drawing to win one of these cards. And then leave a comment that, oh, you're from Texas. Okay. Hey, are you Judy's sister-in-law? Oh, thank you, Barb. So let's see. If you leave a comment, that gets you entered into the drawing. And if you share this video on your timeline, you get entered 2 times. And so I will pick out 4 different winners. And I will contact, if you have won from me in the past and you win, I don't let you know you won. It just shows up. But if you do win and I don't have your address, okay. She said that you wanted to join our virtual event, and that's awesome. I told Heidi, and hopefully you're able to register for the virtual event. But I have a card that I did a sneak peek. I do my Facebook Lives on Sunday after 5, and I really try hard to do it Thursdays after 5. So you can join me whenever you want, Kim. That'd be awesome. Now, you guys, get ready. You paying attention? You don't have to share on your phone. Aw. Okay, so I am going to show you for the virtual event, this is a card that you guys will be making, and it's a fun fold. I am not showing you the rest. All right, so hopefully you're able to get signed up. Okay. I want to say thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. It's 8:45. It's getting close to my bedtime. All right. Have a great week. I will see you on Thursday. I don't have anything going on Thursday as of now. So take care. Have a great week and happy stamping.